Well, now back to the UN report accusing Iran of secretly trying to develop nuclear weapons under the cover of a civilian power program. And joining me now from Stanford University Law School in California is the Middle East analyst Arash Aramesh. Thank you for joining us. A lot of countries are going to have a lot to say on this matter, aren't they?
Yes, these are quite disturbing developments today at the IAEA report, which was parts of it were actually leaked in previous days. It actually came out today. And it seems that the Iranian government has actually tested certain explosive materials and devices in metal bunkers to be able to potentially, and I quote, potentially, test a nuclear weapon or put small warheads on missiles capable of reaching Europe or Israel. The West is definitely concerned, and as President Obama said and has consistently stated, a nuclear Iranian regime is not an option.
Okay, so what have Israel had to say about all this?
Well, the Israelis in the past few days have been very vocal about this. A couple of weeks ago, the retired Mossad chief came out and talked about potential Israeli strikes against Iran, and he discussed some. He talked about some discussions that had been carried out in the cabinet room between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Ehud Barak, trying to convince the rest of the cabinet for a potential strike against Iran. It seemed that the military chiefs were very much opposed to an idea, to this idea of military strikes. I heard General Barry McCaffrey, a very highly decorated former four-star general in the U.S. Army, say today that potential military strikes by Israel will be problematic because, A, Israel does not have the conventional capacity and the capabilities of taking out these very well-protected and deeply buried Iranian nuclear facilities, and B, even if they do that, it's going to be hard to fully stop this program. So the West is actually facing a problem as to what options do we really have to stop the Iranian regime from reaching that weaponization time.
Do you really think that things would get to that point, though, that, like you say, Israel perhaps retaliating, because they are threatening it? Obviously, China is going to be watching very carefully because of oil interests. But do you really think we'll get to that point?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a retaliation if Israel is striking first. But again, the West has made it very clear, as President Obama has said, that Iran should not have nuclear military capabilities. And the Obama administration has worked very hard to impose harsher and harsher sanctions on the Iranian regime, some of which have been working and some of which have not. I think that this wave of new attacks against the Iranian nuclear program is a maneuver to try to convince other leaders to get on board with harsher sanctions and measures against Iran. Again, a nuclear-armed Iran would be a threat to the region, as would be a nuclear-armed Saudi Arabia or a nuclear-armed Egypt. So the problem here is to prevent a nuclear arms race in the region. We don't want to have another India-Pakistan scenario. We do not want to have another North Korean situation as we have in the Korean Peninsula. So it's very important to try every measure possible to prevent Iran from achieving nuclear weaponization capability without military strikes. If there is there will be a military strike, the only country that is capable of doing anything that would cause some serious damage would be the United States. And the president has made it very clear that that's his last resort. At the same time, even if there is American military attacks against Iranian nuclear facilities, we have two problems. A, we don't really know where all these facilities are. Some of them we know, and some we don't. And the second one is the ones that we do know about are very well protected. These are deep bunkers, and it's going to be hard to reach. And the third problem, as a matter of fact, is that it's going to play very well into the hand of the regime. They will be able to rally everybody in the country around the flag, shut down the opposition, and again, we'll have a North Korea situation on our hands, but this time with a strike.
Okay, well, Arash Aramesh, thank you for that analysis. Thank you very much.